Today we're going to do a quick grocery haul and I'm going to show you what I picked up at Aldi Australia here just last week, and including some pretty good deals on a couple of things that were on clearance to help me fill up my freezer. And then we're going to head straight out into my veggie garden and I'm going to show you some of the things that I've been planting and growing this year in my own garden. And don't worry, even if you don't have a garden, there's a lot of this you can grow in pots on your balcony or your deck area or something like that. Now, if you like this kind of stuff, please hit me up with a thumbs up, and a huge welcome to all the new subscribers. Now let's dive in. Well, hello and welcome to another grocery haul. Every second time I shop, I do a bigger one, and this is sort of a smaller top-up haul. I live in Melbourne, Australia, and this is all from Aldi. So I needed some eggs. We love eggs. I use eggs in so many different recipes. I was also hosting this particular week, so I picked up some stuff for a cheese platter. I love the spread at Aldi for cheese and crackers and things like that. It's such good value. We don't do that every week, but it was a little bit of a treat because we were having guests. You also would know by now, if you followed along on the channel, that I love doing roast chicken in my turbo oven or convection oven. And I do try to buy free range as well when I can. So we're going to do a roast chicken later in the week. I've got some butter spread, proper butter spread without vegetable oils and things in it. And I was stoked to see turkey mince on clearance. I haven't seen that for quite a while at my Aldi, so I picked up two. This is one of my best tips for budget groceries. Just buy extra and put it in your freezer. I often do frozen veggies, but I really felt like broccoli, so I bought a fresh broccoli and some baby rocket and spinach mix that we're going to use for a recipe that I'm going to show you in the next video, which is a zucchini slice. It's a good recipe. Also, it is autumn here in Australia. It's pretty cold at the moment, and pumpkin was such a great deal. I will add the price here on the screen for you. But it was such a good deal for Kent pumpkin at the moment. My husband makes amazing pumpkin soups, so I'm going to get him to do that this week. He also needed a sweet potato for the pumpkin recipe he normally cooks. And then I picked up some mushrooms. I'm going to do sort of a carbonara pasta, maybe with a little bit of chicken and a little bit of that broccoli this week. So picked up some mushrooms as well. One avocado. I love avocado, but the price is high here in Australia at the moment. Got some lime, and brown onion is always a good deal here in at Aldi in general, but onion you obviously use in so many recipes. Mandarins were looking pretty good, so I picked up a bag of those, and you will see where possible that I use my own produce bags so that I don't waste plastic where I can avoid it. Picked up some chickpeas to make some more of my own homemade hummus. Recipe for that hummus is linked down below if you're curious to make it yourself. And we are pineapple on pizza people, so I needed some more pineapple in the cupboard. And this week I'm just going to press the easy button, so I picked up a carbonara sauce to use. Needed some coconut cream, and I was out of a couple of different spices. Those of you who watched the last video know that I was out of curry powder, so I picked up curry powder for future cooking and recipes. And we needed some olive oil, and this one is really good. And I like buying things in a glass bottle where possible, because I don't know where you live, but here in Australia glass bottles are more likely to be recycled. And then I picked up some flowers for myself, because rather than picking up chocolate at the till, I like picking up flowers because it does make me really happy. This haul wasn't particularly expensive. I'll add the dollars here on the screen for you, but this will last us for a good little while. And then I wanted to take you on a little walk in my garden. We moved into this brand new house about a year ago, and back then all this was a dirt pile. So the grass and everything is something we've set up ourselves. So I wanted to show you because the Veggie Garden has brought me a lot of joy and actually helped out a lot with both the grocery bill and the flavors in my cooking. So I do need to top this up with more soil next year, but this is just a modular system we bought at Bunnings here in Australia very inexpensively. And when I started out, I started with little seedlings that I bought at Bunnings as well. So I didn't want to grow the things from seed. You absolutely can yourself if you want to, but I wanted to give it a bit of a head start where I could. So you saw there on the screen the things that I started out with, and the first thing to flower early in the season was snow peas. I absolutely love these in salads and things like that, but sadly they did not last the full season. I had some snails and slugs and things like that eating them. But let's look a little bit more closely what I do have. So I've got some coriander here that has been okay. But the parsley, as you can see, is much happier. Parsley is really good in like mashed potato or for garnish and things like that. And then I've got another kind of parsley. I don't know the name of it here next to it. This was just like one of those mixed herb sets that I bought at Bunnings. This is my basil that I planted a bit later on in the season. And it's actually starting to flower now as well. So it's looking a little bit less happier. I've got lots of thyme here. Very happy, loving this spot. And I use this a lot for like roasted vegetables and things like that. And I do have rosemary as well in a pot elsewhere in my house. And my oregano has gone nuts. I have taken cuttings of this and gifted to people, etc., and cut it down so many times. But it's obviously very, very happy. Something that is a lot less happy, also because the birds keep eating them, but I have not had much luck with tomatoes this year. I started out having the tomatoes in a different spot, but it's really late in the season here in Australia. We're going almost into winter, so I don't have high hopes for the tomatoes. I might do them in a pot next year or something. These guys here in the middle are green capsicums. They're meant to be green or red, but I planted these at the start of the season and they took a little while to get going, but they have been delivering solid results for the last sort of 1 to 2 months. I normally pick them because the plants aren't very tall and sturdy, so I kind of pick them when they're about the size of a lime or so. That one that I just picked there was probably slightly premature, but this is the type that I bought as little seedlings. I did keep the tags because otherwise I never remember what they are. And the green beans I also did from scratch. And the green beans, they're looking a little bit sad now because, like I say, it's late in the season, but they have delivered solidly. I think I bought maybe 6 seedlings or something like that, but they have been delivering a handful of beans most weeks, pretty much since spring. So I'm really, really impressed with how solid this has been. And I don't know with your family, but we absolutely love green beans. And the thing that amazes me is that they keep flowering. Even this one here kind of looks a bit half dead, but there are little flowers on these things still. Now, the thing I have had issues with is some slugs and snails and stuff trying to eat them. So I've had to put some little pellets in the garden bed. Another thing that I planted a bit later in the season was zucchini, and these guys took a little while to get going, but they are pretty solid now. Again, I do sometimes have little animals trying to eat them, but they are still flowering. It is sort of late autumn, starting to go into winter. And in my next recipe, I'm actually going to make a zucchini slice with zucchini that I'm trying to harvest here without making you seasick on the camera. Normally I have harvested ones that are much bigger as well, so I will normally leave them to grow a little bit bigger than that. I've harvested one that was about the size of my hand, bigger than my hand, which was pretty impressive earlier in the season as well. So the zucchini has been good. And then I also do have some spring onion. We planted this next to the garden bed because I actually got gifted these from someone before we had the garden bed set up. And then here, just zooming back in on those beautiful little capsicums, it is late in the season, but you can see here how it is actually still flowering. So I'm imagining I'm still going to get a little bit more capsicum still to come. It's been really good. It's been really fun. Another fun thing to try if you don't have a garden, or even if you do, like I do, is to grow lettuce in a pot. This is just up on my balcony and I had fresh lettuce. It just loved it up there, got lots of sun. Make sure you water it, obviously, but this is a mix of butter lettuce and rocket and cos lettuce, and it grew absolutely amazingly through most of the summer. So definitely give that a try. Because we're setting up a new garden, we've also got two fruit trees, one apple and one citrus tree. This is a dwarf pink lady apple tree, and we bought it as a bare root, I think it's called, ready to plant. So it was probably about 1 meter tall at the time. We did get one apple that was non-edible this year, but I did not expect that. And here is me out in the garden. You can see it's sort of at chest height for me. So all those leafy bits are actually bits that have grown since we planted it. And our other tree is a small lemon tree. I believe this is a Maya lemon tree. And we planted this, it was about 40-50 centimeters tall at the time. It's grown a little bit, and it did grow a fair bit of fruit, but we weren't able to harvest anything this year. I have really enjoyed working in my garden and having a garden. And like I said, there is so much you can do, even if you just have a tiny balcony or a little deck area or something like that outside where you can grow your own vegetables. Fruits might be a bit more tricky, but definitely your herbs, your lettuces, and a lot of different vegetables. Next year, I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to pop my tomatoes in pots, because tomatoes I know can be really finicky with just the right balance of soil. Anyway, if you have a veggie garden or you've been growing your own food at all, please leave some comments down below so we can share each other's learnings and experiences and mistakes, because for me, one thing that really didn't work out was spinach. I planted it all, looked after it, watered it, and it got all these little white spots on it, which is some kind of bug or something like that. So I had to pull them out, and that's why I ended up planting the zucchini that you saw instead of the spinach. Anyway, I have really loved it, and it's an experimentation and a learning for sure. So let me know in the comments, and I look forward to see you in the next video.